All right, so what I'm going to do is, in order to sample, the sampling process is very basic. As soon as I hit start sampling, you can go ahead and kick. What I like to do is just give me 3, have them nice and spaced. So just go 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Cool? So I'll let you know when to start. So we're just going to hit this start sampling and away we go. Go for it. Okay, now when we're done, instead of hitting stop, I'm going to hit edit, so it sends me to the editor right away. So if I send it to the editor right away, what it's going to do is, by default, it's looking for transients. You can hang out for a sec. And what it's going to do is it's going to try to snap the starting point to the first transient. We can zoom in and out, right? If we move this bar here or use this plus and minus, we can go look at it and make sure, hey, is it lining up good enough? When it comes to transients, one of the things I always talk about is if it's too punchy or attacky, we can actually highlight it and add a fade in so that it's a little smoother. So it's not so harsh. And what we'll do is a lot of times we'll play through these and see which one's the most solid. So we'll give it a whirl. All right, hold on. Let me turn this up a little more. Actually, I think the master. Oh, there you go.
That's so soft. Man, sounds like
Yeah, I think it's the audio output. All right, let me see, because it does seem soft, but I don't think it's your fault. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I think I like the second one. Although it seems like, I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, it wasn't doing this again. Might be because we're at 88 too, it may be having a bit of a problem. Actually, it does look like it clips there. I wonder if it clips here. It's weird, they look like they're clipping, but according to the meter, it was doing just fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to choose normalize. All right, so essentially it's going to beef up. It should take the peak to 0. Looks like it didn't do much, which would have me thinking that it's possible that it did maybe clip. And if I choose snap, sample, start, and transient, it's going to snap the beginning of the start marker to the front end of the transient. What I'm going to do then is I'm not going to want any other kicks than just the one, so I'm going to take the end sample somewhere close, right? So it's easily repeatable. Push play. Yeah, I think that's a sample rate issue. So I don't think it's part of the tracking. So let me save this real quick. This will just be kick in class. So I'm going to want to have this saved. And for this purpose, I could crop it and get rid of these two and eliminate anything I'm not using. But I'm going to go ahead and save these in case we want to make a change to them later. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now what it's going to do is it's going to assign this to each of the keys on here. Now, because it's a kick, I don't need it to pitch, really. Oops. Let me move to N19. Notice it is doing pitch adjustment, though. But if I go down C3, there's my C3. Right? So now I can go ahead and use that. Now I can modulate it, right? Tune it, filter it. Right? I could, any any of that stuff, LFO. which actually, because this doesn't have a sustain, you're probably not going to hear a whole lot.
It's like when I take my Foley class, I'm doing reason a lot. Make my own sounds.
Now, if I assign it to the filter, and I go back in and and that's again the LFO rate being applied plus the filter, So we can make those adjustments there just fine. But again, you can play it on any of these samples. Now, if we like that sample, the beauty of the way that this engine works is if we go into the browser, there's a tab here where it says Song Samples. And what this will show is it'll show assigned samples, which means they're assigned to a device, and any additional unassigned samples. So let's say we sampled three times and we only chose one of them to use. Any unassigned samples would be here. This all self-contained samples will just show all that are self-contained. So there's our kick. We can actually right-click this and export it and send it on its way. We could crop it or save the raw. A lot of times you're going to do the crop version if you're going to do an export. And what we get to do is save that file. We'll save it as an AIFF, right? Let's save it to the session. And did I even save this session for today? Of course I didn't. Sorry, that's a very bad thing to do. Let's see, what were we in? Oh, not 301. We are in 335. So 335. Reason class sessions. This is going to be day 3, but I'm going to save just a sample. The beauty of doing that is now you can load it and use it anywhere. Sorry, I will go ahead and save this as day 3 before I forget. And one of the benefits of being able to use it anywhere, all right, so you see that kick in class session there now. Let's save this as day 3. Is that you can then load it to other devices. Now, in any other DAW, but in this scenario, if I was like, you know what, I want to load that sample to my NNXT, I'm going to go ahead and reset this device, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and choose, instead of hitting the sample to start, right, to start recording, I'm going to hit the Browse Sample folder, and I'm going to go to Song Samples and choose my kick in class. Right, so there's my kick in class on my NNXT, right? So same sample. So we only had to sample that thing once, and now we get to use it across our devices. So same thing with the Kong. If we wanted to create a Kong, reset this guy, load this up to the first pad. So I'm going to choose the first pad. Here's my little sampling bank option. So I'm going to, oh, sorry, that one's not it. It's totally forgot. It's going to be down below. Sorry, I actually have to load up. And we talked a little bit about this before, the different options here. In the drum module, I'm going to load up the NN sampler, NN nano sampler, and hit the browse sample there. Say, all right, I want this one. Away we go. And now it's on my Kong. And I can make adjustments to it there as well. Nice and solid. Actually, on the master, let's go and throw a compressor on this. Give it a lot of makeup gain. Right, so that's nice and easy, right? It's pretty simple, right? So there we go with that. So there's our little kick sample. Now let's say, now this is kind of where it gets a little more interesting. So let's see, where did we go with the, okay. So let's make this a little more interesting, okay? We got that single kick going on, and there's that kick in class. What I'd like to do is, if I can get that second mic to run, because it still didn't seem to do anything, so I don't know if it's really a cable issue or if it's a mic issue. Let's go ahead and put both mics on, and let's run this sample in stereo, because the sample we were just doing was in mono. So let's build a stereo sample here. Let's just take a quick time out to go make this quick adjustment. I'll just stop this in the meantime.